Hello, my name is Michael Riley. It's ABA Appliance is my business. I've been in the appliance repair business for over 45 years, and I started back in Phoenix at a service shop in Phoenix, doing service in the shop, doing fixing refrigerators and appliances, major appliances, and I pretty much had the knack when I was born, so mechanical ability. So I was out of the shop pretty quick, and they had me on the road right away. And then shortly after that, not too long after that, I got an offer to work in one of the new service companies, service businesses in Detroit or New Jersey, and I chose Detroit, and I was newly married, and we went there and took that position, and I got promoted into management at Whirlpool Corporation in Benton Harbor. Was there about 8 months, didn't like that. I like being out doing service. So came back to Arizona and started my own business, ABA Appliance. And that was back about 90, about 30 some years ago, 35 years ago. And I, due to family, my twin brother was a deputy sheriff in Maricopa County and was killed in line of duty March 11th, 94. So it was really difficult to stay here and live here with the memory of my brother. And so I went to San Diego, and I've been doing business in San Diego for since that time. It's been over 20 years. And I just recently, 2 years ago, came back to Arizona because this is where I grew up. I've been here since 1962. I've done service calls all over the valley. Back when we didn't have the loops and stuff, we were driving all the way from Scottsdale to Sun City. It'd take 2.5, 3 hours. And just covered the whole valley. So I'm back. I have a training company. I train techs as well. And I also manufacture refrigeration products as well as doing service. I train techs. They come in from all over the world, and I've been doing that for about almost 20 years now. I have a training school, appliancerepairtechschool.com. And they come in one-on-one, and I take them out on calls and teach them the business and the trade. And it's a 2-3 week course. So I've become very proficient with not only the appliances, the diagnosis, and the repairs, but one of the biggest factors for me is the customer, dealing with the customer and making sure that they get the proper treatment that they deserve. It's unusual, just about everything we do anymore, even customer service, you call for customer service and you can't get anywhere with them. So that's something that I dedicate in my business, in my personal life, is treating customers the way they deserve to be treated. They deserve it. They deserve it. So they're paying for a repair. They're calling to have a repair done. That's all they want to do is get the repair done and have you gone. And you don't destroy their house, don't destroy their appliance. And so over the years, I've actually become a go-to person for cleaning up disasters that techs have caused. Actually, I can say I'm worldwide renowned for that, because I've actually had to consult over Zoom in other countries with customers that had techs out that just destroyed, and also all over the United States. The techs, there's a lot of good techs out there, I think, but there's also a lot of bad and everything. And so the problem, and everybody's heard about it, that nobody's going into the trades. It's pretty true. There's a lot of this free money, you can make millions jumping around on Instagram type of stuff. It's not real work, and we all know that. But it's kind of kept people away from, guys or girls, away from getting into the trades, thinking there's something better besides hard work. Because it is hard work. What we do is hard work. I have pretty much dedicated to the customer to clean up and make sure that their repairs are done properly. I've had to fly out to like 6 different cities, different states, to clean up repairs after techs had just destroyed their appliance, because they didn't know what they were doing. And that's crazy for a customer to have to pay somebody, fly them out to their home, when there's not somebody local, because they can't find somebody local. The other thing is I specialize in SubZero refrigeration. And that's the parts that I make as well, are refrigeration for SubZero, parts that are no longer available. And the specialization in SubZero is something that these units are very big, as you know, if you know what they are. The built-ins that are built in the cabinet, the big ones, and they're about 18,000 plus for a new unit. These units are getting older, but they last forever. They actually do, because they're stainless steel, so they don't rust. The metal down at the bottom sometimes, you get rust on it. You can get it off and repaint it, but for the rest of the whole unit, it lasts forever. And there's very few parts on the older units. So these 20, 30, 40 plus years old SubZeros, customers are shocked when, SubZero will go in there, and I've had plenty of customers tell me this. And they tell them over the phone, if it's that old, we can't fix it. You have to buy a new one. They don't even want to address it. It's different Freon, and SubZero says you can't convert. Yes, you can. They've been doing it on cars for 30 years, and all of us techs have been doing it on appliance refrigerators. So they're just trying to force new sales, it appears, and the customer doesn't have that money or doesn't want to spend that money because the units aren't the same size. You got to remodel the cabinets, and there's maybe another 5,000 or even more. So I started about 13 years making restoration kits to restore the sealed system and all the components, if they want to do that complete restoration. And this is operational parts, not cabinet parts, not shelves, none of that kind of stuff, to restore it to new. The other factor is that the outsides on the doors, there's wood panels usually, and they match your cabinets. So getting those, if you get a new unit, you got to get new panels, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. It's just outrageous. So it's just not an option to buy new. And some people also don't like throwing stuff in the landfill, and restoring the old unit, which is possible, and it's the best option because there's very few parts on it. That's the key. There's very few parts on it. Not like the new units. The units have all these sensors, computers, everything, and they're a disaster. The older units are all mechanical controls, and there's very few of them, about 5. Two fan motors, a thermostat, the compressor and the cooling system. That's it. It's that simple. Light switches, fan switch, that's it. So I've been restoring these with people all over the world, shipping these parts out to restoration kits to even England, different Australia, different countries, so that they can restore their units, even on boats, on yachts and stuff. They didn't want to, because they can't get it out. It's hard. They'd have to tear their whole cabin apart inside their yacht. So they restore it. So that's what I specialize in the SubZero more than anything else. I'm concentrating on. I do work on all the other brands. I worked at Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and KitchenAid and Whirlpool now own Maytag and all of Maytag's lines, Admiral, Jen Air, a ton of lines. They bought in 2006. So I work on all the brands, but I specialize in SubZero, and I like to kind of focus on that as well as do the other ones on a smaller scale if they come up, other brands. I'm kind of focused on the refrigeration. I'll work on washers and dryers and microwaves and all that stuff if a customer asks me, but I'm not advertising for that because my focus is on, like I said, the refrigeration, and especially SubZero refrigeration, and getting these units restored. So if you have a unit that you've been told and you've been looking all over to get some information about it, that can't be fixed, more than one text told you that. SubZero will tell you that for sure, especially if it's an older one. They won't touch it, and you have to buy a new one. You're panicking. Don't panic. I'm in the Scottsdale, Phoenix, Mesa area, Apache Junction, Fountain Hills, Tempe. If you're in my area, contact me. The contact information will be where this video is posted as well, below it usually. And contact me and I can definitely help you. Especially if somebody is, people, usually it's more than one. When I get involved, usually it's 4 or 5, I think 7 was the number that sticks out in my mind. People that had messed with something before and they finally found me. Somebody referred him to me, said he'll solve it for you. And I did. To me, it's really simple. My schooling goes back to electrical engineering degree. I never used it, but and I was born mechanical. Some people are. So it's really fundamental for me. And if it worked before, it can work again, is what I say. And so that eludes a lot of techs. They get really stuck. They start thinking different things could be wrong, and now they're replacing all kinds of parts. And yeah, that's not good for the customer because you're going to have to charge them for all those extra parts you put in there, like they do with car repairs. No. That doesn't happen with me. I identify, just like when I train the techs, I identify them how to properly diagnose a unit. And first is understanding how it works to be able to diagnose it. And some techs don't even know how, like a washer, what cycles it functions. If you don't know how it works, you can't fix it. It's kind of like the human body with a doctor. So if you're out of state as well, feel free to contact me. I do it every day, all day long, where I'm talking to people from other states. I've Zoomed. I did a 12, 13-hour Zoom with one customer, fixing his 11-hour Zoom, and of course there's a charge, but it's nothing even close to a technician being in your home, because I have to pay. You have to pay for my time. I'm doing all this repair. I'm walking you through the repair with an experienced the knowledge that I have to make sure it's done right and help you do it right. So out of state, out of country, contact me as well. Especially if you need you want to fix your old unit, SubZero refrigerator, freezer, wine refrigerator, ice maker, any of that. Just let me know. I keep getting responses about the 315W SubZero wine refrigerator that the thermostat's no longer available, and I located and that's the other thing I'll do because of my experience. I can do this. In my schooling background, electrical engineering, I located a thermostat that was equivalent to what it used to be that was available and not anymore, and now they have a working refrigerator, wine refrigerator, and the wine refrigerator costs $4,000 to $5,000 just because the thermostat, $200 part. wasn't available anymore, and I saved them $4,000 to $5,000. And that's what I do all the time. And just like on the refrigerators and freezers, the SubZeros, restoring them, you're gonna save yourself like 16,000 plus. The repair does cost a little bit of money. The part's about $1,000, and the labor is anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. So it could be $2,000 to $3,000 for the repair. But what you're doing is you're replacing all the old parts that have a problem. And so now you have another 10 to 15 to 20 years out of this unit. Okay? So it's not throwing money on bad. It's not that old saying that people say. That if you have a lot of parts, like a car, that might be true. Because your transmission might be going out, you know, that kind of stuff. But on these refrigerators, no, it's well worth it. So you spend $2,000-$3,000, you just saved yourself 16 to plus thousand, and possibly, and then the cabinet remodeled, because they're not the same size, the new ones. You could be up at 20 to 30,000. You saved yourself all that money by restoring it. Okay, so I ask people to not balk at the $2,000 to $3,000. Really think about it. You're saving yourself tremendous amount of money. You don't have to, because if you put a new one in also, the panels, the wood panels, they don't come on the new ones, of course, because it's not going to match your cabinets. And now you got to do that and remodel. Yeah, it's so this is the best way to go, and it actually makes it so that not only do you save tremendous amount of money, and you also are able to keep everything the same, and your kitchen's the same. Okay. And you can go on vacation. You got tons of money, extra money to go on vacation. I always joke about that because it's true. You spend $30,000 to get a new refrigerator in there. There's at least 2 or 3 vacations from 2,000 or 3,000 instead of 20 or 30,000. Yeah, 10 times more. So it's a great way to not only save the environment and not throw in the landfill, but to save yourself a tremendous amount of money. In cases where you can't find, I have a way of finding techs. Okay, so what I say is don't try to call companies; they're not going to help you. There's another way about it that I have, and I walk it through with you. I'll walk you through everything so it makes it really make sense. And it's the easiest way to get a tech out there that will do this repair. I supply the parts for you for the sealed system, the restoration kits, compressor, evaporator, heat exchanger, and dryer. And if it's a complete system, the thermostat, the 2 fan motors, and the gasket. And then everything's replaced on the unit. There's nothing else except 2 light switches. And those don't usually go out. So it's tremendous deal. Right now, summer's coming up, and this is going to start being a big issue. So if you are in the Scottsdale, Phoenix, the Valley area, contact me. Best to email me first, because I don't always, with all this Google calls constantly all day long, I don't always answer the phone. But do leave a message if you call, okay? And I'll call you right back, that I know who it is. But email me and say, look, I have this model and serial refrigerator. Just give me a brief description of what your problem is. I'll get right back to you. And then I almost always want to talk on the phone. I don't want to do this texting back and forth, emailing. I have specific questions I need to ask and share with you. So do it when you have a few minutes to talk. And a few minutes actually means quite a few minutes. And I'll walk it through with you and make it painless. And you'll be like just ecstatic when we're done. I've done a couple restorations here since I've been here, back in Arizona the last couple of years, and my name's not out there yet because you got to get found. You know, all the search in the internet and stuff. So That's why I'm doing the videos, and to make people aware that I'm back. I've always been the one that stands above other techs, and it's not flattering myself. It's just because I've cared to know as much as I can, and when I train techs as well, it gives me both sides of it. But like I said, if it worked before, it can work again, and that's what my mentality is. Taking it back to new. It's that simple. And this is where technicians have a really difficult time. And then there's some bad techs out there that destroy stuff, like I said, I've had to travel for, and other things. So I don't want to get on the negative, but I'm definitely the great resource for you. I'm back home, and I love to talk, as you can tell, and I have information and repair experience that you definitely need to get it done right, and I will make sure it's done right. I do the year warranty. Everybody does 30, 90 days. They've been doing that for 25 years. I still do 1 year warranty. Okay, that's just the way it should be. I do things the old way, the proper way. Okay, I'm not trying to rip the customer off. So just like when I said the prices and stuff, I'm really transparent. I'm upfront. I'm not trying to fool you. No, I just tell you the way it is. That way, you know, you're informed up front. And you also, I think, feel more comfortable. I know I do when I talk to somebody that's up front, is I feel more comfortable. I wish my doctor would do that. You know, they don't tell you everything. So I'll talk forever if I keep going. I'm back. I'd love to help you out. If you do have other appliances, other brands, that's fine. One thing I will say is I don't work on, and I'm going to put it a different way. I will not work on anymore Samsung and LG. Okay, they have too many lawsuits against them. They don't know what they're doing. Putting like refrigerators, and they don't know what they're doing. They were electronics stereo companies, and they decided we can make appliances too. They don't know what they're doing. I mean, they got a washer that's exploding, and everybody knows about the batteries exploding. I mean, and refrigerators that are freezing up and they don't cool. LG refrigerator, first couple months, it stops cooling because the compressor goes out because it's a garbage compressor, and they only had a 1 year warranty on it, which is just insane. It should be 5 years like everybody else or more. So this is the problem with the LG and Samsung in my experience, that I won't work on them anymore. So if you have those, what I suggest is you possibly think about getting rid of it and getting a different brand, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, you know, the normal brands that if you're older, you know what I'm talking about. Just the brands you always heard about. But not these new brands that thought they could make appliances. And it turns out they're a disaster. LG and Samsung. That's my opinion. From my experience. So if you have other brands and other appliances, I'll answer questions about a fish tank. I don't work on them. I mean, I have before. I've worked on a couple. I did for one lady. She put a review and said, on the way out the door, he fixed my fish tank. I will. I'll do it. I just try to be helpful because I like to help people. I love the interaction in the home with the customer. It's everything. It makes your day. As you can see, I smile about it because I really do love it. And I like that you're treated properly. You do my advertising for me. I've never paid for advertising in 40 plus years. Never. Not one time. Customers have always done my advertising because they've word of mouth. They've told all their friends. You know, put in reviews and stuff. And that's where it's at. You know you can trust when a friend tells you, hey, I've got this guy. That's, you know, you can trust that. You're not uneasy talking to him. You don't know what he's going to charge. There's like that gut feeling. You're not, you know, it's just none of that. So I I had an office girl that told me one time, I was on the phone and I got off the phone and was talking with a customer, and I got off the phone and she says, "You really do the phone good." I said, "What do you mean?" but because I'm really thorough, I do talk too much probably, but I'm very thorough and I'm very respectful for one, and treat you with respect when I'm talking to you. But I'm also very thorough to make sure that you understand everything, and I tell you just straightforward, totally transparent, the way things are. And I think that's what she liked, was that I don't hold anything back. So if you need my help, if you need help with the appliances, or even advice, don't hesitate. That's what I do. I sit here all day long, and when I'm not doing a call, and I haven't been doing any calls yet. I've been here a couple of years. I've been working on selling the parts that I manufacture, and I want to get back into service. I'm working in that direction, and I'm available. So I hope that, and like I said, I got 40 plus years. I worked at Whirlpool Corporation. I was one of their top techs. Full line tech is what it's called. A full line tech does everything. It does the refrigeration, sealed system, or Freon system repairs as well. A lot of the techs that do refrigerators don't do sealed system, the Freon cooling system. They say, well, we have to have another guy come out because I don't do that. They don't have the equipment and experience to replace the compressors and that kind of stuff. I do everything. I actually train them to do it. So I'm the guy that trains them the proper way to do things. So you have the right guy with me. I look forward to talking to you, and whatever I can do to answer questions or help you get things fixed, whether you're in my area, in the Valley, Scottsdale, Phoenix, Tempe, all the surrounding areas, Mesa, Apache Junction, Fountain Hills, Phoenix, or if you're worldwide, anywhere, another state, whatever, feel free to contact me. You're not bothering me, and I'll ask you to talk to me on the phone. I'll do it right away because I just like to get to the gist of what's going on and give you the most accurate information. So there's no misunderstandings, which is easy to do when you're writing things, as we all know by now. So feel free to contact me. You're not burdening me. You're not bothering me. This is what I'm here for. I know it's unusual. You call somebody and they're always impatient to get off the phone. I hate that myself, especially with my doctors or something. So that's not who I am. I want to help you, okay? I'm always pleasant. I joke around, and I just do the job right. I'm dedicated to treating customers the way they deserve to be treated. And you don't see it a lot these days. So, okay. If you need help, once again, it's Mike O'Reilly. It's ABA Appliance, A, B as in boy, ABA Appliance.net. That's the website for the business. ABA Appliance. So there's two A's together there. ABA and then appliance.net. So all one word, ABAappliance.net. And you can contact me. My contact information's on there as well. And whatever I can do to help you, I surely would love to do so. Okay? All right. Take care. Once again, Mike O'Reilly. And I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.